So I got an email from an IM manufacturer called Chimera. Now, I've never heard of them before, but after doing some research, I found out they actually do a custom IM with Z reviews. Disregarding the creepily aged tape that's on there, that is definitely much larger than just a single microphone. So I have no idea what's in this, but let's get it unboxed and figure out what they sent me. So we have the Ryu, which I believe is like their more budget-friendly IM microphone. The Grammar, their premium IM microphone, obviously. And then the Idun Golden. Idun or Idun? I think it's Idun. Let's rock with Idun. I don't honestly know how to pronounce that, but this is the IMs they sent me. I did not expect these. No idea what the cost on any of this is, so I'll kind of get it up on screen later. But I'm mostly excited to check these out. Let's get them all unboxed. Okay, now initially, this is probably one of the best unboxings I've done on a set of IMs yet. First off, look at this case. That's not wood grain. That is kind of like a pleather, leathery material, but it looks sick though. The wood grain design is 100% speaking to the old man in me. You can see right here the design on the IMs themselves. My God, those are beautiful. Now for the main reason behind this video. This is the Ryu. This is like their budget IM mic right here. Packaging is just like these little boxes like this, and nothing crazy, but it all does kind of disassemble, which is pretty sick. Really excited to check that out. But then look at the Grammar right here. This one comes with a leatherish style pouch. I don't think that's real leather, but it is really nice though. And just the packaging is a lot more premium. Different connectors, and then of course the mic itself. I want to go ahead and run through the specs of both mics. We're going to save the IMs for a different video, but I want to compare these next to the Antlion Chimera. See which one's best. Before we dive into the review and the sound test of these, I just kind of want to go over the specs and we'll lay out the cost and everything like that. I've actually had these for a couple of weeks, so I'm kind of just now getting to opening these up. First and foremost, I'm probably going to mispronounce a lot of things, so you can bash me in the comments over that. Also, on both of these, I'm just going to list their starting price because you kind of can build some of your own packages with them and kind of kit them out however you want, which will increase the price, obviously. And first up, we have the Celeste Ryu. These are gonna run you starting at $29. Now, as I mentioned, with this being the cheaper pair, there's nothing crazy going on with the packaging here, and you don't get a carrying case with this. Let's go ahead and take a look at the mic. Now, I really like this cable. It's super soft, really flexible, and it's got the whole twisty design, which I really like. And I'm already noticing that the mic is detachable, which is pretty sick. Get this untwisted here. That is gonna be one problem with these not having any type of carrying case, that they're gonna kind of wad up really easily, which kind of happens with all my IMs, but I like the wraparound portions here. These are really soft, really flexible. They're not going to hold their shape. As you can see, they're not going to bend into place or anything like that, but they are really light, super flexible, which is a plus over the Chimeras. I want to see how easily this mic can connect on here. It does have this slot on one side, so it can only fit on there one way, which is really good. Get on there. Okay, ooh, clicked into place. Ooh. Okay, so that cable is really flexible. It kind of has like a crackling sound, which is a little concerning. But it is really flexible and stays in place. And one thing that's really cool that they included with the cheaper one is that you do have this inline switch for mute. I'm assuming that's for mute. Then you have a little call answering button, and then volume up and volume down, so you can use this with your mobile device. I don't know if these come in other colors other than this gray, but I kind of like this gunmetal gray color, I'm not gonna lie. Let's get them slapped on some IMs. Cable comfort is really good. I like that it's a flexible mic cable, but I don't really think I would have to flex any. I'd probably, honestly, straight would probably be just fine with this. I do wish that there was a cinch here, maybe just to kind of tighten it up a tad, but altogether though, not bad, and the dongle is in a perfect placement point. Now for the more premium option, this is the Chimera Grammar. This is gonna start at $49. Without testing the mics yet, both of these price points are fantastic. So for the Grammar, obviously we get the carrying case, and it's definitely not real leather, that is pleather, but it does smell pretty good. So here's the IMs, and what is in this little bag right here? So you get two windscreens, so you get like an extra one in case you lose one, which is really good. We'll look at these here in a second. Let's go ahead and look at this cable here. Velcroed together. So the wraparound design is kind of just like the other ones, really flexible. This one kind of snaps back into place a little bit better though. Super flexible. I love the color of this cable though. It looks really good. This one actually does cinch up. Now the only thing is you don't get inline controls with this one, which is okay. I don't need the inline controls. I'm probably never going to use it with my phone. But that is something to know. If you want inline controls, the cheaper option is the better option. Now, the cable itself seems like it has some really good length to it, but then this part right here is probably the most interesting part to me. So you can actually remove the connector, so you can switch between a 1/4 inch or an 1/8 inch jack. First, let's get the mic out, and I'm assuming this is probably the same mic as the cheaper one. It's even got the same little notch right there, so we'll go ahead and slap that on there. See how easy this pops on this one. Oh, okay. Yeah, so this is probably just like the exact same mic on both of them. So that's also probably a good thing. So mic quality wise, it might be exactly the same. We'll test that out here in a minute to tell though. So here's both of our cable ends, and they feel really good quality. They do have maybe plastic housings right there. I'll have to look into that to tell for sure. But I like this because this is a TRRS cable right here. But if you wanted to not have to take these off your IEMs and just switch, if you got like an extra in like this and switch it over to just a TRS instead, like, which is what I need for my headphone amp, then boom, you're ready to go. Now, let's see how easy this pops on here. We got a 5-pin design. Got to get it lined up and, kind of just squishes on there. It doesn't really like click into place. Not a very comfortable feeling. How easy does it come off? God bless America. Okay, so that pops on there pretty tight. There actually is a notch on there, so I'm hoping I didn't just break something. I didn't realize there was a notch right there for those to line up, so that might be bad. I think by chance I got lucky and lined it up on first try. Okay, moment of truth. Oh, let me get this cinch fixed. Ooh. Cable is probably maybe a little bit longer, and I also mentioned on both of these, it's like a rubber coated cable. Feels really good though. There's no shirt noise, no dragging noise or anything like that. I should add another thing too. So with this one, since it's got the removable ends, they do make a connector for Lightning and a connector for Type-C, which is awesome because I have an iPad and an iPhone, and the iPad uses Type-C, so I can actually use these with my iPad pretty easily without having to carry a bunch of dongles around with me or extra adapters or anything like that. Enough goofing off. It's time to get down to serious business. I'm going to go ahead and do a sound test for all 3 of these mics so you can hear what they sound like. Now, I'm going to read off a very serious, very deep poem for this part. Now, for this part right here, I do recommend listening over some earbuds instead of your phone speakers, just so you can get a better idea exactly how these mics sound. And for reference, all 3 of these would be recorded through GarageBand with no effects or anything like that applied. There was a boy named Porky Beans who liked to fart and cause a big scene. Now his nickname might sound mean, but they called him the Farting Machine. There was a boy named Porky Beans who liked to fart and cause a big scene. Now his nickname might sound mean, but they called him the Farting Machine. There was a boy named Porky Beans who liked to fart and cause a big scene. Now his nickname might sound mean, but they called him the Farting Machine. So up front, my final verdict on all 3 of these mics is that they all kind of kick ass. Now that's not to say that they're perfect, and they kind of all 3 of them have their own weaknesses and their own strengths. First, all 3 of them together have horrible rejection. If you don't know what that means, that basically just means they pick up every single bit of room sound. So especially if you play on mouse and keyboard, they're going to pick up every click, every key press, everything like that. Even on controller, it's going to pick up a lot of those noises right there. And that's just kind of common for like any gaming headset, unless if they're using some type of like actual noise cancellation, which most lower end don't. So when it comes to noise rejection, they're all just pretty terrible. I don't really think that's a slight against them though, mainly just because that's kind of the norm with any gaming headset. Starting with the Ruyi, which was the cheapest of the 3, and this part kind of surprised me. It's actually probably the most natural sounding of all 3. It's definitely a little bit softer, but it's just a really clean, good natural sound. There's nothing being added on the high or the low end to it. I really, really love it for its price. Then the Grimmer, though I'd still say it sounds natural, it does add an extra bit of low end, but it's not bad at all. It's actually really clean, and it has the highest sensitivity of all 3 of these, which for a lot of people is probably a huge pro, and I honestly really like that. And then there's the Chimera, and this is kind of weird because when I originally reviewed this mic, I really loved it. And I'll say this too, I still think it's a great mic. I think it still sounds fantastic, but after listening to these other 2 before it's really muffled. And along with it, it has the lowest sensitivity, but also it's a little bit shorter than the other 2, so it kind of picks up a lot more of those room reverberations. Now, in terms of value, I do think all 3 of these are just great offerings. And once again, you know, take my word however you want. I did receive all 3 of these for free to make these videos. But for me personally, and I think kind of just the main reason why most people would honestly want to buy a mic for their IEMs, just go with the cheaper option, the Ruyi. It's super comfortable, like the inline controls are clutch, and it just sounds fantastic. Anyways, links for all 3 of these will be down below, and thanks for watching. Bye-bye.